Picture a clock on your screen right now, not counting up, but counting down. 120 months. That is exactly 10 years. And if you are in your mid-50s, that clock represents the window you have left before traditional retirement age arrives at your door. Every single month that passes without a deliberate, strategic financial move is a tick you cannot get back. This is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to wake you up, because the difference between someone who retires with dignity and someone who is forced to keep working well into their 70s often comes down to what they did or did not do inside that 10-year window. The 120-month countdown clock is the framework we are going to use throughout this entire video, because every strategy, every tool, and every decision we discuss needs to be measured against one simple question. How does this move the needle before your clock runs out? So before we go any further, we want you to do one thing right now. Write down your number. How many months do you have left before you plan to retire? That number is your mission, your urgency, and your motivation. And everything from this point forward is built around making every single one of those months count. Now that we have established the fear so many people carry, let us talk about exactly what this video is going to do for you. We are covering two powerful topics today, and they are deeply connected. First, we are walking through a practical 10-year catch-up plan designed specifically for people who are starting their retirement savings at 55. This is not theory. These are real, actionable steps you can begin this week. Second, we are going to expose 5 critical retirement red flags that must be fixed before you turn 60. These are silent mistakes that quietly destroy retirement plans, even for people who think they are doing everything right. Here is why these two topics belong together. Both are rooted in the same fear, running out of time. One gives you a path forward. The other makes sure you are not unknowingly walking backward. Together, they create a complete picture of what retirement readiness actually looks like after 50. Let's talk about someone we'll call Michael. He's 55 years old, working a steady job, raising a family, and when he finally sits down to look at his retirement savings, his stomach drops. Maybe he has $20,000 saved, maybe even less. And the first thought that hits him is it too late for me? If that sounds familiar, you need to hear this. Michael is not an exception. According to recent studies, nearly 50% of Americans between the ages of 55 and 66 have less than $50,000 saved for retirement. Half. That means millions of people are sitting in the exact same chair Michael is sitting in right now. So before we go any further, let's set something straight. Feeling behind does not make you irresponsible. Life happens. Medical bills, job loss, raising kids. You are not alone in this, and more importantly, you are not out of options. Now here is where things start to get genuinely exciting, especially if you are over 50. The IRS actually rewards late starters with something called catch-up contributions. This is a provision that allows anyone aged 50 or older to contribute more money into their retirement accounts than the standard limits permit. Think of it as the government giving you an official second chance to accelerate your savings. Here is how it breaks down right now. For a 401k account, the standard contribution limit is $23,000 per year. But once you hit 50, you can contribute an additional $7,500 on top of that. For an individual retirement account, or IRA, the standard limit is $7,000 annually, with an extra $1,000 catch-up allowed after 50. These numbers might sound modest at first, but when you understand how they compound over 10 years, the impact becomes truly significant. This is your first and most powerful weapon. Let us break down exactly how powerful these 401k catch-up contributions can be with real numbers you can relate to. The standard 401k contribution limit for 2024 is $23,000 per year. But once you turn 50, the IRS allows you to contribute an additional $7,500 annually as a catch-up contribution. That brings your total potential contribution to $30,500 every single year. Now imagine someone named David. He is 55 years old with very little saved. Starting today, David maxes out his 401k at $30,500 annually. Assuming a 7% average annual return, over 10 years, David could accumulate roughly $420,000. That is not pocket change. That is a genuine retirement foundation built in a single decade. The math works, but only if David starts immediately and stays consistent every single year moving forward. Now let's talk about individual retirement accounts, commonly known as IRAs. Just like your 401k, the IRS allows people over 50 to contribute extra here too. You can put in up to $8,000 per year into an IRA, which includes a $1,000 catch-up bonus on top of the standard $7,000 limit. But here's where it gets interesting. You have two main options, traditional and Roth. With a traditional IRA, you contribute money before taxes, meaning you get a tax break today, but pay taxes when you withdraw in retirement. With a Roth IRA, you contribute after-tax dollars now, but your withdrawals in retirement are completely tax-free. So which one is right for you? If you expect to be in a lower tax bracket in retirement, traditional often makes sense. But if you think your taxes will be higher later, Roth is the smarter move. Either way, using this account alongside your 401k accelerates your savings significantly. Maxing out your retirement accounts is a great start, but if you are truly serious about catching up in 10 years, you need to go further. It is time for a full financial audit of your life. Start by pulling up every single monthly expense and asking yourself one honest question. Does this spending move me closer to retirement security or further away? Subscription services you forgot about, dining out multiple times a week, upgrading to the latest phone every year. These are classic signs of lifestyle inflation quietly draining your future. Every dollar you free up gets redirected straight into your retirement savings. No exceptions. Think of this as a financial reset, not a punishment. You are not giving things up. You are trading short-term comfort for long-term freedom. 10 years feels tight, but with urgency and real discipline, it is absolutely enough time to make a meaningful difference in your retirement picture. Now here is where things get exciting. Beyond cutting expenses, you can actually play offense with your finances by increasing your income during this critical decade. This is not about desperation. It is about strategy. Consider taking on part-time work in your field or exploring freelance opportunities using skills you have already spent decades developing. Many professionals over 50 find that consulting work pays surprisingly well with flexible hours. Think about monetizing hobbies too. Photography, woodworking, coaching, writing. These can generate real supplemental income that goes directly into your retirement accounts. Downsizing your home is another powerful move. If you are sitting on significant home equity, selling and moving somewhere smaller can free up tens of thousands of dollars to invest immediately. And do not overlook delaying Social Security. Every year you wait past 62 increases your monthly benefit substantially. That is not a sacrifice. That is a calculated financial move that pays you more for the rest of your life. Here is the truth that nobody tells you enough. Starting at 55 is not ideal, but it is absolutely not the end of the road. Not even close. The people who fall behind in retirement savings and still manage to build something meaningful are not the ones who had perfect timing. They are the ones who refused to quit when the clock felt like it was working against them. That is the mindset you need right now. When you combine IRS catch-up contributions, those extra dollars the government is literally inviting you to invest, with aggressive saving habits and smart income strategies, something powerful starts to happen. Month by month, year by year, your retirement fund begins to take real shape. 10 years of consistent, committed action can absolutely create a foundation worth standing on. The decade ahead of you matters more than the decades behind you, so stop looking back and start building forward. Now that you have a clear roadmap for catching up on retirement savings, Let us shift into something equally important, and honestly, something that catches even disciplined savers completely off guard. Here is the hard truth. You might have been saving for years, checking the boxes, contributing regularly, and still be unknowingly setting yourself up for a retirement disaster. How? Through common but deeply dangerous financial mistakes that quietly grow in the background, slowly undermining everything you have worked so hard to build. These are not rare situations. Millions of Americans approaching 60 are making at least one of these critical errors right now without even realizing it. And the longer these mistakes go unaddressed, the more damage they do. So in this next section, we are going to walk through 5 retirement red flags you absolutely must identify and fix before you turn 60. Catching even one of these early could save your entire retirement plan. Now let's talk about the first red flag, carrying high-interest debt into retirement. This one is more common than most people realize, and it can quietly destroy even a well-built retirement plan. Here's the problem. When you're retired and living on a fixed income, high-interest debt like credit cards or personal loans doesn't just sit there, it actively works against you. Interest compounds daily, meaning every month you carry a balance, you owe more than the month before. That money isn't coming from a paycheck anymore, it's coming directly out of your savings. Imagine withdrawing thousands of dollars each year just to pay interest, not even the principal. That's retirement savings disappearing with nothing to show for it. So what do? Before turning 60, attack this debt aggressively. Use the avalanche method, paying off the highest interest rate debt first. Consider consolidating balances to lower interest rates, and stop adding new charges to existing balances immediately. Now let's talk about red flag number 2, and this one catches people completely off guard. If you're planning to retire before age 65, you're facing a serious coverage gap because Medicare eligibility doesn't begin until 65. That gap can be financially devastating. Here's the reality. Unexpected medical costs are one of the top reasons retirement plans completely collapse. A single hospitalization or chronic diagnosis can drain years of savings almost overnight. So what are your options? First, COBRA allows you to temporarily continue your employer's health coverage, but it's expensive. Second, the health insurance marketplace offers subsidized plans based on your income level. Third, and this is powerful, a health savings account, or HSA, lets you save pre-tax dollars specifically for medical expenses. If you have access to an HSA right now, maximize it. Every dollar you contribute today is a dollar protecting your retirement tomorrow. Don't leave this gap unaddressed. Now let's talk about red flag number 3, being house rich and cash poor. This is one of the most common and quietly dangerous situations people over 50 find themselves in. Here is the scenario. You have spent decades paying down your mortgage. Your home is worth $300,000, maybe $400,000 or more. But your savings account is nearly empty, and your retirement fund is barely enough to cover a year or two of expenses. That home equity feels like wealth, but you cannot pay your grocery bill with equity. You cannot cover a medical emergency with equity. Illiquid assets do not keep the lights on. The imbalance here is genuinely dangerous. Fortunately, there are real options. Downsizing to a smaller home can unlock significant cash. Renting out a portion of your home creates monthly income. And for those 62 and older, a reverse mortgage may allow you to tap equity without selling. Now let's talk about red flag number 4, having no clear retirement income plan. There is a critical difference between simply having savings and actually knowing how to use those savings strategically in retirement. Many people assume that having a certain amount saved is enough, but without a structured withdrawal plan, even a healthy nest egg can disappear faster than expected. The key is building multiple income streams that work together. Think about combining Social Security benefits, a pension if you have one, systematic investment withdrawals, and passive income sources like rental income or dividends. Social security alone is rarely enough, and drawing too heavily from investments early in retirement can leave you vulnerable later. A proper income plan maps out exactly where each dollar comes from, in what order accounts get tapped, and how long your money is projected to last. Without this roadmap, you are essentially guessing, and guessing with your financial future is a risk you simply cannot afford. Now let's talk about red flag number 5, and this one catches so many people completely off guard: ignoring inflation and longevity risk. Here's the problem. Most people build their retirement plan around what things cost today. But retirement could last 20, 25, even 30 years. Over that time, inflation quietly destroys your purchasing power. Something costing $100 today could cost nearly $200 in 20 years at just a 3% annual inflation rate. And here's the other side of this coin. Living longer than expected is actually a financial risk. The longer you live, the more money you need. This means your investment strategy cannot become completely conservative the moment you retire. You still need growth. Keeping a portion of your portfolio in growth-oriented assets, even during retirement, helps your money outpace inflation and sustain you through a longer-than-expected life. Ignoring this is a silent retirement killer. If you recognized yourself in one or more of those 5 red flags, take a breath. You are not alone, and you are not beyond help. The worst thing you can do right now is feel so overwhelmed that you do nothing at all. Instead, approach this strategically and methodically, one red flag at a time. Start with the issue causing the most financial damage today. If you are carrying high-interest credit card debt, that needs to be your first battlefield. Every month that debt sits there, it is actively destroying your future. If you have no healthcare plan bridging you to Medicare, that gap could wipe out years of savings in a single medical emergency. Pick your most urgent red flag, build a focused plan around it, and execute. Once that issue is under control, move to the next one. Small, consistent wins create momentum, and momentum creates transformation. Progress, not perfection, is what moves the needle toward a secure retirement. Here is where everything we have covered starts to work together in a powerful way. The 10-year catch-up strategies and the 5 red flag fixes are not separate conversations. They are 2 sides of the same coin. Think of it this way. Maximizing your catch-up contributions builds your retirement foundation. But if red flags like high-interest debt or zero healthcare planning are left unaddressed, they will quietly erode everything you are working so hard to build. On the other hand, fixing red flags alone without aggressively growing your savings leaves you financially safer but still underprepared. When you combine both approaches simultaneously, something remarkable happens. You stop the financial bleeding while actively building wealth at the same time. That 2-pronged strategy creates momentum that a single approach simply cannot match. Even if you are starting late, this combination dramatically shifts your retirement trajectory. It is not about being perfect. It is about being intentional, consistent, and committed to attacking this from both directions at once. Let's take a moment to talk about something that financial advisors rarely address: the emotional weight of late retirement planning. If you have watched this far, chances are you have felt fear, regret, or complete overwhelm when thinking about your retirement future. And I want you to know, those feelings are completely valid and incredibly common. Millions of people carry the quiet shame of feeling like they should have started sooner, saved more, or made smarter choices years ago. But here is the truth. Guilt about the past does not build your future. What builds your future is the decision you make today. Every single strategy we covered in this video is available to you right now, regardless of your starting point. The most powerful shift you can make is moving from "why didn't I start sooner" to What can I do starting today? That mindset change alone can transform your entire financial trajectory moving forward. Now that you have the knowledge, let's talk about turning it into action. First, consider scheduling a consultation with a certified financial planner. A qualified professional can look at your complete financial picture and help you build a personalized retirement strategy tailored specifically to your goals and timeline. Second, take advantage of free online retirement calculators. Tools available through websites like Fidelity, Vanguard, and the AARP allow you to model different savings scenarios, adjust your retirement age, and see how small changes today create dramatically different outcomes tomorrow. Third, commit to reviewing your retirement plan at least once every year. Life changes, markets shift, and your strategy needs to evolve alongside both. Here is the truth that ties everything together. Information alone will not secure your retirement. Consistent, intentional action will. Every contribution you make, every red flag you fix, and every smart decision you take today builds the retirement you deserve. Knowledge plus action equals financial freedom. Retirement is not something that happens to you. It is something you build, one intentional month at a time. And that journey does not begin at 65 or when you finally feel ready. It begins today, right here, right now. To help you take that next concrete step, I have put together the Month 120 checklist, a practical, straightforward resource that walks you through exactly where you should be and what you should be doing at this stage of your retirement countdown. You can find the link waiting for you right there in the description below. Download your copy, work through it honestly, and let it guide your next move. If you are not already subscribed to Ready Retire 120, hit that subscribe button now so you never miss a single countdown video. Every month matters, every decision counts, and every step forward brings you closer to the retirement you actually deserve. I will see you in the very next video as we count down another month together, because your retirement future is not a distant dream. It starts today.